Gawthorpe. It's a last name so bad my wife didn't take it. So call me Eric. Feel free to yell out anytime during the presentation today. I love audience intervention here. Michelle came up to this morning and she made it sound like I was going to have to sing the Blondie song. So I was literally, and she heard me, I was looking up the lyrics. I was going to go, color me, so, color me. You get that versus call me? Okay. All right. So, and also I do want to say, I really appreciate you saying it's your favorite or one of your favorite providers. And, I actually had this recent experience. I went into my bricks and mortar doctor and I waited for her for 35 minutes. And I was there early. My appointment was at 2. I waited till 2:35. She saw me for 10 minutes. It took me half an hour to drive to my provider because although I live up in Nashville, that's where my provider is located. So my entire visit took me about 2 hours. But then I had a nasal infection, and I used my telehealth provider. I used Teladoc. And the great thing about the service is that, I used my phone app. I actually scheduled an appointment, but even if you don't schedule an appointment, if you want to see the soonest provider. So right now, do you have any ideas? Might get a few numbers as to if you just wanted to schedule a provider to see right away, how soon could we see you? Anyone use this? What was that? 15 minutes is a bit high. Actually, our wait time right now, and I just saw this last week, was 4.5 minutes. Okay, so when you're thinking about your day and where you need to go, I love you nodding yes. Thank you. What's your name? Barbara. I'll be calling on you all the time. I mean, I like everyone here, but you're my favorite. Okay. So if you just think about the time that you went to your bricks and mortar doctor, what were you exposed to when you were there? Were there other people that were sick in that lobby? How quick of an experience was it for you? Also, if you went to an urgent care or maybe primary care or maybe emergency care, how could we have helped you? I'm going to go through different examples here as to where we're going to be. Our goal is to remove obstacles to make it quick, easy, and affordable. And so first off, thank you for everyone that came up to my table today and told me how much you enjoyed our service. We really appreciate that. And one last thing I want to mention is that just this week on Tuesday, we were awarded by J.D. Powers the #1 telemedicine provider for customer service and quality across the country. Okay. I'll pause more often for just random applause. That was wonderful. So it's when you go to use our program, you can call in. Most of our members are using the Teladoc app, which is very easy to upload. And then we actually have screenshots as to how the process appears. I had someone mention they used us 3 years ago and it wasn't that smooth. I do encourage you to go back on, load the app again, and you'll see that we really focus on that easy-to-use experience for the member. Because we know if we're an obstacle to care, then the members aren't going to stay with us. You're going to set up your account. You're going to complete your medical history, which may take a couple of minutes, to be honest with you. We want to make sure we're being very accurate and that we're giving our doctors the great baseline to start your interaction with. You're going to request a visit. You can schedule a specific time, or you could do an instant visit, which, as we were talking about, the wait was 4.5 minutes last week. You're going to talk to the doctor. Some people use the video feature. I had poison ivy. The doctor was like, hey, let's see it on your legs. Let's see it on your arms. That helped them determine whether I needed a prescription or whether they wanted me to go in and get a shot. So fortunately, it was a prescription for prednisone. And then you're going to get resolution, which is either the doctor might need to order some lab works, depending on the situation, but they can send your prescription right to the pharmacy of your choice. Preferably a pharmacy that Blue Cross or United are using. And then also the doctor has availability to send a follow-up, a medical record that you can forward to your primary care physician for use for your medical records. Any questions about what I've shown for you today here so far? Great. These are the common things that your general medicine program is going to be able to help with. I think I mentioned nose congestion, nasal congestion, upper respiratory. I've used for poison ivy, fever, strep throat. These are the more common opportunities where we're going to be able to help your members. That way they can stay at home and out of harm's way, as I like to say. 24/7. One thing that people constantly brought up to me at my table there was, hey, during COVID, this was great. So let me ask you this. Since the worst of COVID, which I would say was a year ago, which would have been March, April, and May, would you believe that the utilization today is higher or lower than compared to a year ago with COVID? How would you say our utilization is? Higher? That's exactly right. So our utilization of our telehealth visits is up 30% over a year ago. And that's because the genie got out of the bottle. People used our program and they realized how easy it is and how low cost it is for them to get great care. Accessibility, we talked about how easy it is to use. Also, as a reminder, your members can select different languages and they can select their provider based upon the language necessity required. So the impact. So 92% of the member issue or reason for calling are going to be covered in that first call. 92% rate is really great. Earlier, I believe it was Dustin was talking about the claims, the CFO. So I want you to know that when we look at our savings for every visit we handle versus a member going to urgent care or emergency care, we save your plan, your claims, about $470 for that claim. So very good savings there. And then member satisfaction of 90%, as J.D. Powers just reinforced for us. One thing we'd like to highlight is, I think a couple people asked it, and I would refer you to Michelle on this, but the more communication and broadcast you can do of the benefit to let your members know what's out there, then the greater utilization, especially for those of your plans that are out in the more rural areas where there may not be access to providers as easily. So the more you can educate through the mailers or through emails, the better off you'll see the utilization. To be quite frank, we have wonderful utilization with your plan, and we're thrilled by it. But it can always get better. We do direct mails. We also provide emails. When your members search for a telehealth provider using Google or Safari, you'll find that we're the most looked up provider in that space. Whenever anyone enters in telehealth provider or telemedicine, the first one that'll come up will be Teladoc. So teladochealth.com, Alabama. My name's Erik Gawthorpe. We're always here to help. Michelle calls on us quite frequently, and whatever specific needs you might have, please talk to Michelle or I. We'll be happy to help you out. Well, thank you very much for the time. I'm so glad you didn't have to hear me sing Blondie, Call Me. So thank you very much, and we really appreciate your time, and we appreciate you broadcasting the benefit.